Teachers of Reddit, what is the craziest reason you have had to send a student to the office? A new male student, year 4, gets mistaken by his classmates for being female. He had long shiny hair. I'm guessing this wasn't the first time this has happened, as he immediately jumped to the top of his desk, pulled out his cock and balls, waved them out to everyone yelling, "What the fuck is this? I'm a boy, I'm a boy." A grade 1 student came up to me on the playground telling me another student was making her sick. She pointed to another student about 10 meters away, looked at me, and projectile puked on the blacktop. Went to the other student, he had found rabbit turds on the ground and stuck them in his mouth and was chasing kids around. I then puked. I didn't go to the office. But rabbit turd kid did. My mom's been a teacher for many years. Besides the usual masturbators and the general nuisance kids, there was a sad one recently. Apparently one of her middle school students had been coming in day after day just absolutely filthy, wearing the same dirty clothes. She notifies the office and they talk to her and the parents. Apparently the family has been living in an RV with no running water. I'm not sure if this is due to homelessness or what. We're in a rural area and it's not uncommon to see people living this way. The school offers to let the girl shower at school, and they even have a special shop of sorts, free to the students of course, for clothing and things like hygiene items. The only issue is the school needs the parents' permission to let her shower there at the school, and the parents won't grant it. I'm not sure why. And yes, CPS has been notified several times, but they must be deeming the family's dwelling habitable in some way, though I'm not sure how the parents are getting away with such horrid obvious neglect. My mom says the kid is just so sweet, but she smells bad and looks even worse, and she's afraid the bullying will start soon. Skeptical. The area I live in is absurdly poor and very rural, so sadly such instances are not unusual. Edit. A lot of people have suggested wet wipes. This is a good idea and I'll mention it. Some people have said this is not neglect, so I guess everyone has different ideas of neglect. Overall I think it's a pride issue and perhaps some other things going on. We were doing sketch comedy in 6th grade a few years back, and seeing as it was a nice day we went outside to practice. From across the field I see one of my students very clearly and aggressively trying to put his junk on a prone classmate. When I asked him, he said it was for his sketch and he was playing a character named the Iron Teabag. The best was the follow-up text from my boss saying I had to Google what teabagging was before I met with the kid. My wife is a high school teacher. She was teaching a lower-level math class, and she had a student who was probably too smart for the class, but too lazy, or too cool, to take a harder class. One day, out of boredom, he was throwing his pencil up at the ceiling. On the 3rd or 4th try, it got stuck. So he threw a pen to try to dislodge it. Didn't work. He then threw his notebook at it. Missed again. So he stands up on the desk chair combo, takes his notebook, jumps in the air, and swats at the pencil. Pencil fell to the floor. He lands on the desk, which, if you remember those desk chair combos, is not supported by the chair's center of balance. He falls off the desk and lands on the floor. Oh wait, did I mention the lockbox on his ankle? I think I left that out. The lockbox pops off and lands on the floor. He looks for a second, says OMG Mrs. Jaime Zero, I have to go to the office, the police are coming to get me, grabs the lockbox, and sprints out the classroom door. Student was wearing sweatpants that had a hole in it and his penis would flap out and was visibly noticeable to myself and other students. I've had students attack me and say horrible things, but this was the most memorable. Kid ended up needing clothes, a shower, and a place to do laundry, which the school provided. I remember I tried to get a male staff to talk to him, but at 17 he did not want to hear it, so we had to resort to the office. One kid kept stabbing another kid in the neck with a needle. The kid getting stabbed didn't feel it, but I saw it. The stabber was sent to the office, and the other kid was none the wiser. Not crazy, sad. I was student teaching for 2nd grade. This girl was known to come to school smelling a bit off. One day she came in constantly scratching her head. Non-stop for a long time. I pulled her over and asked what's wrong. She told me her head won't stop hurting. She was on the verge of tears. And she was scratching hard. I told her to let me look. She had a massive bald spot on the middle of her head and was also bright red from the scratching as well as a rash. I pulled over my mentor teacher. We called her mother while writing a CPS report. The teacher was telling the mom that her daughter was scratching her head and wondered if something happened. The mom took it as an attack and yelled that we said she was a bad mom. My teacher said she didn't say that and she should come get her daughter and have her checked out. The mom's response? I can't right now, I'm with my boyfriend, he's more important. And hung up. She called CPS and I took her to the office. The nurse checked her out, she had a major case of lice and she also notified CPS. She was out for a week. She came back and I asked how she was doing. She said she's okay, but her mom didn't want her talking about it. This was about 4 years ago, no idea where she is or how she's doing, and I think about her all the time.